Hamilton's Ukrainian community is growing worried about the escalating tension between Russia and the West. Russian forces are massing along the Ukrainian border, and the threat of an invasion looms despite Russia's insistence they have no plan to do so. Matt Ingram reports.
It's scary, and I think for the last couple of weeks I feel it more.
Maria Stepanova says her fear of what's to come is rising. She lives in Odessa on the Black Sea and believes if Russia invades, her city will be a target.
There are a lot of talks that they want the Black Sea to control the sea part.
This mother, wife, and former Sheridan College student says the atmosphere is tense, but no one is panicking or planning to run away because Ukrainians like her have lived with this war for 8 years. Odessa is not too far from Crimea, a Ukrainian region annexed by Russia.
I can't fight, but I don't want to run. So really this confused feeling of why should I run from my country just because somebody wants to invade it?
On the eastern border, civilians live poorly as separatist forces supported by Russia defend the breakaway provinces of Donetsk and Luhansk. Some who live in the east have family in Hamilton.
My family in eastern Ukraine, they're afraid to answer the phone. They're afraid to answer the door.
Konstantin Sheweli, the president of the Hamilton chapter of the Ukrainian National Federation, says the majority of Hamilton's large Ukrainian community have relatives in Ukraine, and they are afraid for their loved ones. He says many feel Ukraine has been abandoned by the West ever since the war began in 2014.
We've already been invaded. Now we're going to be invaded again.
This week, the Prime Minister announced a 3-year extension to Operation Unifor, the Canadian Armed Forces military training mission in Ukraine. 60 additional troops are being sent to augment the 200 already on the ground. A shipment of non-lethal military equipment is also being sent, but no weapons. And that's a mistake, according to Elena Lazar of the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress, who says Ukrainians are willing to defend their land against the estimated 130,000 Russian troops along the border, but they need weapons.
We know Putin and his regime, they see a weakness, they will take it.
Sheweli agrees Canada should send weapons.
Because if they do invade further, if they do seize the country, it's too late.
Where I think, Canada can obviously play an important role is in the whole area of cyber warfare.
International Affairs Professor Fen Hampson says Canada doesn't have the types of weapons Ukraine really needs, but thinks helping Ukraine prevent cyber attacks by Russia would make a big difference.
Canada is, quite sophisticated in its cyber capabilities.
Back in Odessa, Stepanova says she wants the West to realize that if Russia invades, the conflict won't be contained.
It won't end here. I think it will go further.
Matt Ingram, CHCH News, Hamilton.